Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to BioShock Infinite. So, in the past 2 hours, we've done this incredibly silly side quest in which we learned at the Hall of Heroes things that aren't true about Comstock and somehow miraculously learned things that seem to be true about Booker DeWitt, as far as the Booker seems to pretty much admit it. And now we are going backwards on a terribly laid out level and going back to the beginning, and we have some new enemies that respawned. We did get the ability to use Shock Jockey. That's kind of the only reason why we were even there, is because we needed Shock Jockey. And see, she's over here running, and you would think for a game that specifically has told us that we don't have to worry about her, they wouldn't bother to have her sound exhausted. She kind of never stops talking too. She never stops talking. She never stops handing us items. And we're kind of looking around, trying to find, well, what are we trying to find? Money, I guess. Just research things. And, like I can't do this? Oh, I guess I can. I guess I've moved away from these areas enough.
Here.
But as soon as you interact with these items, she hands you money again. So, yeah, to get back to what I was saying, it's been an incredible waste, and we're looking for lockpicks since it's really the only thing you can do here in this game, it seems. Unlike Borderlands, where you are running around like a madman getting side quests, and they have all kinds of things they want you to do, all kinds of daily challenges, not daily challenges, but just skill challenges where you kill a certain number of enemies with a certain weapon or certain abilities. Like, it's actually very similar. You could have easily had challenges like that in this game, where it's like kill a certain number of enemies with the machine gun, with the rocket launcher, with the possession ability, with the shock jockey. But to implement any of those challenges would have been really easy, but to accomplish them would have been kind of difficult, considering she just jumped down, did she? Interesting. Considering there's not a significant enough amount of people. So she jumped down and then ran around and jumped back up, apparently. And I need bullets. I'm slightly short on
names, Booker. I'll be certain to attend to that distinction, Booker. And there's a moment when we're not being shot at. If you're interested, I spotted some supplies over there.
Wow, that felt like a glitch. Either I just walked right into a wall, or the game bumped me a little bit to the left. Let's see, I don't know what supplies she's really talking about. Tails, it looks like. But I kind of need the money, so I can't really complain too much about it either. And running back to these elements to get more bullets isn't a terrible idea. It doesn't fully feel like things have completely respawned in this area, but it does feel like At least some things have. Like, and this secret area is still open, so we didn't have to remember that. Like, if either things are getting changed or certain things just respawn and certain things don't. Let's see, we're up to 285 silver dollars, which is kind of what we need. This falling action in a better game, I would think, might be indicator that we're going to run into a new type of enemy. We've recently seen the mechanical George Washingtons get introduced, and we fought a couple of them, and they've been not that difficult with the rocket launcher, but that is also definitely in part because I'm playing the game with some foreknowledge and am holding on to one weapon that is like, ooh, a little glitch there too, a little lag. A little bit of lag. Wasn't expecting that. So I have one really powerful slow weapon, one really powerful, moderately powerful fast weapon. I assume the handgun will on average do a little bit more damage, but be a little bit more slow.
What is a life compared to a faith? My aim is true, as my eye is the prophet's.
So here, we just possessed that guy. And see, this one is possessed again. This is still possessed from a long time ago. And we're in combat with somebody. Who are we in combat with? I guess maybe technically I'm in combat with this guy. Now, we've seen when we possessed people before
belongs to the Lord.
That the characters have killed themselves. And we tried this gun, and I don't see a reason to do that. And see, we couldn't get him to walk through the door, which then kind of makes the question, why can we possess this thing?
Can you unlock this?
That won't take but a minute.
Now I'm hoping, and
It's done.
I'm hoping this is the one I was thinking about, and there isn't yet another 5 lockpicks that we're looking for somewhere. It also kind of feels like the game is intentionally not placing lockpicks down after we have 5, which might be the case, maybe not the case. It's so crazy that we're bothering with any of this. Like, there was a lockpick here, and I don't know specifically if we have a great reason to even look around here. There's a lockpick. So now we're back to looking for lockpicks. And I imagine the way this game works is the lockpicks are placed in certain places where everything is placed, and so there are very specific points, like very specific points where. That's a good question. Where things can be placed. But it makes sense. It seems also like this area has been slightly changed. And this guy is not... Doesn't seem like one of them. But the mechanicalized attack. So it almost seems like there's... Some of them can attack and some of them can't. Either that or the game just doesn't want to do that to us. And I have us turn around and fight this guy again. There's no preemptive attack. Like, can't just shoot that guy and destroy it. And sometimes I see some flickers here. And let's go. And we're taking an elevator after we just took a skyline.
I don't think I understand how you do what you do.
I always thought of them as doors. When I was younger, I didn't just open the ones I found. I remember making them.
Making them?
I could go wherever I wanted. But I always wanted to come back.
To what?
I don't know. My family?
Huh. How do you do that? Whatever it is.
You know how I said I had plenty of time to read? Well, I tried to figure it out. I read literature on physics and other such things.
Yeah? And what did that teach you?
She's still
There's
in the
a world
cage.
of difference between what we see and what is.
So there is another 5 thing, isn't there? Maybe there isn't.
You found some money.
So I need 15 or 1653.
Catch!
This whole mechanic needs to be automated. She just needs to throw things at you. Or just as she picks up things, it needs to magically appear in your inventory. Like, the whole catch idea is almost here for a storyline reason than an actual so she's jumping somewhere. She's kind of glitching out. She's walking in water, which is an indication that maybe we'll get attacked in this area. So what I want to do is run back to this point and think long and hard. Did we go through this gate and open this? Yes, I'm pretty sure we did. And even if we didn't, it doesn't matter because we only have one lockpick, and I'm kind of surprised we even have one lockpick. So we're finally back to the main path of the game. So much backtracking. I suppose, like, the game could have crashed right then, too. And what do we have here? But some more shock jockey. And money. And all the ice cream is now gone, so they took the ice cream and ran, or I don't know, did the police take all the ice cream? Well, no, somebody took it and flew it. No, wait, this is DeWitt spilling his ice cream. That's not actual ice cream, that's porcelain. And this is so you're getting some weird flickering. See how that goes on the right? It just flickers when it comes in, and that's a really bad system to have in your engine when the game is trained the player to look for that. So they put all the chairs on the floor like they were gonna mop the floor or something, and locked up. And I bet it hurts his hand quite a lot to lift this gate. No, I didn't want to do that. The X button is the wrong button to have, and they shouldn't put collectibles there next to it if they were going to do this. Because I was tapping X to pick up things. I've said it in Borderlands and many games before, I really wish there was a system where you could just hold down the pickup button and maybe you have to stand still and it would just draw a growing circle around you and pick up everything in that circle. So we've got this thing with cover and medical kits now. Tears are becoming an issue. So we are going to fight somebody, it seems. But right now, we're not fighting anybody.
Look her up there. One of those shock jockey doors. Maybe we should take a look.
Like, I really don't see a reason not to. That's our goal over there. And we might as well take salt as we can get it. Interesting, this door just doesn't open. We may find it's barricaded or something. And you've got a couple of Vox Populi and a lockpick. Search the cabinets. Not finding much in a lot of these things. This game does not have enough things to search to run into so many things. Nice try, Fitzroy.
All pressed in is a sport.
Skyline reloader. Jumping on and off of Skyline reloads the weapon. What do I have right now? No, I wouldn't choose that.
Man, Miss Fitzroy, I won't steal up on you while you slumber like these Vox boys here with their pig stickers. That's one scalp to me. That's two. Now when you hear this, I want you to square your affairs and come die in the side of the poets. You'll need a white man's weapon. Give this a try.
So this is like Preston Downs, so are we getting introduced to yet another character that really doesn't matter? Look how tall I am. The 3D modeling on this is totally wrong. It's like I should be a lot lower to the ground. And I can't go out that way. And something here. And another lockpick? Seriously? 2 lockpicks in the same place. Notice how it just said minus health plus salts as separate entities instead of the same. Let's see, they want me to power up that station with the shock jockey. I am not ready to do that. Like, I assume that's just gonna send enemies running. Let's see what's behind gate number 2. Now, certainly, admittedly, I'm waiting here and screwing around a lot and trying to get as much gameplay out of this as possible. They're certainly making it like, there's another lockpick. Yeah, it totally stops after 5. It completely stops after 5. If I find another lockpick, we're gonna go back to that area just to make sure. And it doesn't seem like there's anything here. Alright, well, I'm gonna have to address something, so I'm gonna pause this video just for a second and then we'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. So I think we've looked through this whole area enough. Let's just quickly do a second pass. It still very much feels like there should be something here, but how? Like, despite the flickering in the corner of things, if we're down below here, there's no like buttons. And that's certainly something we would have seen in BioShock 1 or 2, is buttons under desks to unlock secret passages. And it's just not here. There's a lot that's not here compared to the previous BioShock games. This game is just simpler. With less interactions, less confrontations, less enemies, less styles of enemies. Apparently we're not able to go this direction, which is kind of weird considering we could never go to that direction anyways. But I guess maybe they're just trying to... Here we can see a motorized Patriot is as far as a tear. And up there, there's nothing. Because it seems like I could jump up here and then jump down there if I wanted to. And all that's here, though, is some salt. There's nothing on the stage, can't even jump up on the stage. Some basic things that you might see in a modern game. Just areas that look like you can walk, you would be able to walk on. And it's not the case. So, this area in particular, gate number 3, was the one we were most interested in. By the way, these gates, like, what's the point of having a gate like this that's not securely locked down in some way? Like, just making it slightly difficult so children can't break into the stores, but any able-bodied adult can? Like, I imagine Elizabeth could probably lift that fine, and she should be lifting it considering my hand is stabbed through. I guess the idea is to come back here and get the repeater, but the heater replica, the working heater replica, here we have DeWitt pointing his gun at himself. The whole DeWitt and I forget the other guy's name. Dale. Let's see. Like, that whole storyline would have been slightly interesting, and here we have another shock jockey just in case. Like, every single store has shock jockey in it. But I don't think you would have even been able to get out of the previous area. So it kind of screams that they didn't even really know what the previous area was going to be like. And the idea that I'm stealing now and that might have some effect seems kind of ridiculous. Let's see. Skyline accuracy. Increase weapon accuracy on the skyline compared to ammo advantage. Increase clip size for all weapons by 75%. Yeah, right. That ammo advantage is way better of a deal. Clip capacity. That being said, it still feels like I'm running out of bullets every now and then, which kind of makes this game almost obviously too difficult by default. If you had just bought the original game, and they kind of messed over, screwed over the players that only bought the original part and didn't buy the full season pass with all the DLC. Which is just yet another argument against doing DLC, and why it shouldn't be tolerated as an element in video games is because in this instance, instead of forcing you to pre-order usually elements that should have been in the game by default, and frankly I don't think that's really a good argument for this use of DLC, because the Burial at Sea elements, to my mind, probably could be their own standalone sell things and don't have to directly integrate to this main story. But what it does do with the season pass, where we got all that extra gear and we got the extra abilities, so that I'm at maximum shield right now and I'm increasing my salt and all of that. So we bring out this motorized Patriot. Now what's interesting is, why does the motorized Patriot automatically become possessed and work for us? Is she pulling it from some universe where we control all the machines in a world like this? Is it coming from another universe at all, or is it just being made up? We kind of don't ever get an answer to that. Personally, I don't feel like we ever get a satisfactory answer to it. It plays fast and loose with its main concept, in my opinion, this game, to spoil things. So, calling the gondola.
The gondola's coming!
We are one lockpick short, but I'm pretty sure we had already gotten the lockpick.
He will abandon you, my sweet Elizabeth. Once he has what he needs, he will leave you alone. What else could you expect from a liar and killer of women?
Comstock.
Father, prophet, whomever you are.
Where is he?
Leaving, and
Where is she talking?
you can do to stop me.
Oh, sweet child. That's where you're.
And see, why does he always get this demonic voice? This is something I never even noticed. And so these guys are coming, but I don't have an ability to shoot people. Like, there's a rocket guy over there. So I'm almost just sitting here waiting. Let's see. And are we done? Let's find something and get on this and see what we're supposed to do. It seems like there's some areas we might be able to get higher, but that specific path is not a path we're allowed onto. And they're trying to melee me, like that was ever gonna work. I suppose.
Take this ammo. Need this?
Much obliged.
So people are kind of coming out of nowhere. The game is certainly not making it clear. I mean, how many ships?
Do it.
On it.
How many ships are we really dealing with? Like, you have these people all over the place. So there's a Patriot way over there, but can I even hit that?
Catch, Booker.
Thanks.
See, as soon as I start taking damage, am I supposed to just kind of wait for these people? suppose I can hit more of these guys like that. See, every shot is for some reason triggering her to get more weapons.
I've got salts. Take this.
Great.
And so she fills me up with salts. There we go.
Open it.
On it.
So, like, maybe time to switch to a shotgun, I guess. We'll maybe give that a try. That fall took out my shield. You see, I kind of just want to look around and see, like, is there possibly some collectible or something we missed? Way over here. These circular pathways actually eventually start to prove themselves to be actually exactly circles. And I can't pick up this heater element.
Elizabeth.
Sure thing.
And yeah, we've kind of done everything and been everywhere. Not much of a real struggle. Jump this way. Then jump down here. And is Elizabeth where I am? Not really. Jump down here. There's nothing on this roof. You'd think maybe there's something there. And see, that's supposed to be a big set piece. And it didn't work. And I cannot, for the life of me, really think I should have the shotgun over this gun, so I'm gonna take it back. Like, it just doesn't make any sense that they would throw smaller numbers of enemies at me when I'm complaining about the fact that there probably should be larger numbers of enemies. And so a hairpin lock gets her that way. And this doorway doesn't open. And we're finally moving forward in the story. What'll be interesting is if any of these animations take longer than the almost instantaneous amount. Alright, so as crazy as it sounds, I'm gonna take this and speed run. It looks like you might actually be able to land on the stage. So my goal is to speed run this way. And we're just gonna run all the way back here since I did somehow find a 5th lockpick and find out if I somehow missed it. Also, is there a dollar bill machine or anything around these areas? No. I'm glad the game stopped crashing for these things. I guess you're perfectly safe after you verify the data. Like, it is kind of an interesting question as to how far back you could actually go in this game. Like, I don't think you can go all the way back.
Someone wants to keep people out of that.
Let's see, we're not seeing too much of anything over here. And we had already searched that. So, not only do we have 5 lockpicks, it seems like we're now ahead of the curve. Either that or I've missed a safe somewhere. Which is possible. Doesn't seem likely, though. And let's see, I guess this is probably as far back as we can go. Like, yeah, you walk through this point, this is as far as we go. And I imagine when we take the gondola, we are also out of this area forever. So keep that in mind too. I think also, once we hit that gondola, interesting. We don't have to open it. We can shotgun it. That's odd. It didn't actually open. He kind of struggles with that one. Oh, that animation actually is longer than the other gates. And how close do we have to be? Is it this barrier? Yes, it is. It's like when you're on this side of the fence, you can't do it. When you're on the other side of the fence, you can. Yeah, but it doesn't look like there's any secrets or anything. Nothing like way down below here. And it certainly does seem like balloons are just holding up this entire place. For them to say it's quantum mechanics is a little weird. But then this whole game, I'm having this growing theory that they kind of just make up and mix and matched things. Board the First Lady airship. And where is she?
When you were unconscious on the beach, you kept repeating a woman's name. Anna.
I don't want to talk about that.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have pried.
So these are supposed to be
New York.
What did you do then?
really
Business
thick
much
cables
like
you
this.
can't hang from.
Something that really caters writing on a resume.
It was a fine thing you came along when you did.
How do you think I ended up here? I gambled, and now I owe money to men you don't want to be in debt to. I come here to pay it back. Me busting you out. What do you think that was? Charity?
Who sent you?
Somebody who was willing to take my marker in exchange for you.
Now, marker doesn't inherently mean your life. It just means you're dead. I guess maybe he was never actually Booker DeWitt was never actually being threatened with death more than any other gambler that owes money to people. And they did not time that scene correctly, obviously. We're sitting in awkward silence for too long. And we're at the First Lady's aerodrome, and I suppose maybe you could go back, but I don't see a real reason to. See, now she's just sitting down. They spent too much
Here's some cash.
production value, too much production currency, whether it actually was time or money. This is a phrase I'm going to start using a lot, I think, is production currency. Programming her to act natural and look around and lean on things and sit down when that effort should have been spent on putting better encounters, more enemies. As soon as we go into combat.
Okay, cash.
Got it.
Wow, and how did I run out of bullets immediately? See. Get more money. I don't really want to spend money on bullets, but I have this niggling feeling that we might end up doing that. See, again, they want me to use the shotgun. I think I will. And every single action triggers that. It's the idea of forcing me into other weapons is probably a good one. It's a little disappointing when you're forced into it and you can't stick to it even if you wanted to. If you wanted slightly more of a challenge in exchange for playing with your favorite weapons. And that's where I think this goes a little extreme, as City mourns. But the guns aren't interesting, and they don't have unique adaptations to them, like in BioShock 1 and 2, where you could say, I want this gun to get this ability first, or this ability first, or this ability first. When you were upgrading a gun in BioShock 1, you were shown 4 different upgrades that you could pick. And it wasn't a system that locked you out of the other upgrades, it was just a system of, do you want to add increased firing rate or decreased reload speed? Pretty basic things. What is she doing? Her reactions seem so odd. And we're going through an elevator again. And what is this? Marlowe's patented vigors, murder of crows, proven deterrent against hooligans. I'm a little surprised that this society would have the concept of patents that much. You would kind of think it would all belong to the church
Let's not call each other
/ state.
Suits me.
How do you figure they'd know you'd be coming?
Either they've got a prophet on their side,
Har har.
or them that hired me also wrote the signs.
Why?
Got me.
So there's another area up back this way that you can't go to. Seems like I almost could work my way around there. There is a problem with this world in the idea that it's supposed to be this theocracy, but it doesn't quite fit. Like, I would have liked to see a better treatment on the idea of a world that's gone to the most extreme of a theocracy, so much so that even the prophet has people saying he hasn't gone far enough. And see, I still don't want to do shield infusion, and we're still kind of suffering from lack of salts. So we're almost certainly going to end up getting the salts all the way to the max first. And now we hit a point in the story that I'll be a little bit quiet about, but frankly, this is, if this is the scene I'm thinking of, the silliest, worst scene ever. It's so stupid, and it shows a lack of like intelligence on Booker's part, so much to either have the ability to lie through a situation that he should have the ability to lie his way out of, or to just accommodate her desire to go to Paris by taking her actually to Paris. If this machine can fly to Paris, why not take a little vacation to Paris? Why not run away with the girl and instead of delivering her immediately? And we're leaving the area.
You alright?
I want to see Paris. I want to see everything.
It's up to you now.
So she said she wants to see everything.
What is that? 40 north by 74 west. That's not Paris, that's New York.
How'd you know that?
One thing I had in that tower was time, Mr. DeWitt. Time to study things like geography.
I owed money. And there's a fellow who... he offered to wipe away my debt in exchange for you.
He just kind of explained that, though. And so she starts crying. It's like, just say, okay, fine, we'll go to Paris first, but I do...
Hey, Elizabeth, it's gonna be okay.
It's like, just change the stats. Just give her what she wants. Or lie through your teeth and tell her I need to pick up something in New York first. Either way, you don't just leave it like this.
Come on. Everything's gonna be okay. Will you just turn around and talk to me and we can...
And then you get hit by the wrench from the first game. So, you probably should have known Elizabeth is going to be childish, not having dealt with anybody. So, and we've seen her in her running around and dancing being childish also. I almost have to applaud Elizabeth setting the things herself and going to Paris. Doesn't really matter though, because you can see in these scenes that they've contrived it so that the Vox take over the ship. And then they punch me. This is such a stupid contrivance that continues the game. And you can see now this is just chain gang slave ships.
So you're this false shepherd we've been hearing so much about.
And apparently all the Vox are Africans.
You Fitzroy?
Nothing but.
I got no quarrel with you or your Vox Populi. This is my airship you're hanging me out of, and I got perilous need of it.
Really? Because it sure look like old Comstock's airship to
Listen,
me.
I ain't looking for a fight.
There's already a fight, DeWitt. Only question is, which side you on? Comstock is the god of the white man, the rich man, the pitiless man. But if you believe in common folk, then join the Vox. If you believe in the righteous folk, then join the Vox.
My ship.
And the Vox shall give her to you. But first, you must help the Vox. Down in Finkton, there's a gunsmith who can supply weapons to our cause. Get our guns from him, and you shall have your ship back.
So I fall again. This time not in water. And we're in Finkton. So and so we're hearing here just be happy with what I give you from Finkton. Some of that almost respectable institutionalized racism that actually did exist here, where they're saying that the minority people can never ever accomplish anything. This guy.
They fire the man?
Flying squad came and took him. You ain't gonna see him around no more.
We don't know who Flying Squad is.
Samuel always thought that the pew on Sunday went hand in hand with the desk on Monday. Science is the slow revelation of God's blueprint. After 2 years in the Lamb's Tower on Monument Island, he took ill with cancer of the stomach.
Can't quite afford that, darn it.
I prayed to the prophet, and the prophet delivered unto us a miracle through his servant Fink. I do not know if I will ever get used to a husband bound in a skeleton of metal, but better a handyman than a dead one.
So, sick people get turned into handymen. At least in this case. Notice these people freaked out when I used that possession. Which is a little odd, but okay. Honestly, that section feels like it might have been the end, should have been the end. So it's not completely just black people. They decided at some point to not just have this be we hate Africans. So they put in the Irish people too, which is historically accurate.
Washington would only accept the presidency if he were paid a single dollar a year.
And here we're hearing more pro-business, pro-oligarchy propaganda, if those are the right terms. And sadly, I would have to argue in the United States that in a lot of ways businesses did succeed this way. And worker rights and individual liberties became paled by the rights and the abilities of corporations. And here this is kind of just more of a sped up example of that with the idea of technology. That's the idea, I suppose, behind Rapture, was with a massive boost in...
This here is private property. You're looking for trouble because I'm more than happy to be of service.
So I can't go there. There's a whirly bird. So the idea in Rapture is that they were given this ability to build technology slightly faster and increase evolution through Adam. And so there was almost this magical genetic alteration that happened in Rapture. Here, there's really no reason why they should have the quantum mechanics to float the city, and let alone have it at the beginning of the creation of the city. And there's no real explanation on how they make handymans. There's no real explanation on how they make vigors. All of that you would think in a theocracy would just be banned as ungodly, because most theocracies don't like change or science at all, and the idea of it being impressed. What's this? Aiming increases damage compared to when revived, receive full health. Well, if I die right now, I suppose I would get revived anyways. But it seems kind of odd. Like, the idea of Elizabeth being out of the picture for this section turns things around. Like, see, that guy was like a Pinkerton thug, not a policeman, but he came running anyways. See, I think I want to just go ahead and take the handgun. Let's play with that for a little bit. Something that fires a little bit faster. So this was hardly the right place. To start a fight like this. Did I get that whirly bird? And I've replaced the area which was peaceful, or at least moderately peaceful.
Mercy belongs to the...
Come on, kill it. So where did all those guys come from? Like, and where did all the workers go? And they don't go as far as to say that this is full-on slavery. It's worker exploitation. That's not to say that it guarantees that they're actually getting paid or any kind of decent wage, but they're at the very least getting food and lodging. But I guess slaves also got food and lodging for as pitiful as it was. But this game leaves it very open-ended to your own mind whether you want to see slavery or not. And that's part of the problem with this game, is that I could see a few naive people, younger people, those who perhaps haven't gone through history or paid attention in history class, not even seeing half the racism in this game. Like, I could see somebody thinking it's just a weird world that has some people as the winners and some people as the losers of society. And I guess that's inherently the problem at times if somebody actually doesn't see color and can't tell the difference. You can see my health needs some improvement to it. But if they were really missing all of the racism in this game up to this point, I think you probably would be joking me at that point. Is this just a little section with some dollar bills? And a lockpick. And so we've gotten up to 6 on the lockpicks, which is slightly interesting.
Just aren't satisfied with their place here.
And I guess none of those are going to drop money.
There's a purpose for all living things. Would the pharaohs of Egypt have been able to stand at the top of their pyramids if the Israelites had not made their bricks?
Now, actually, it seems like that's actually a myth. What he's talking about now about the pharaohs and the pyramids. It seems that the new discoveries have said that actually the workers that built the pyramids were paid servants, not slaves. And I'm not sure exactly that they were the Israelites that built the pyramids anyways. Well, it's very possible the Israelites were slaves to the pharaohs. I'm just saying they probably, or at least new research is pointing to the idea that it wasn't actually them that built the pyramids. Which, either way doesn't really mean much of anything, at least to me. You can see the Jewish element of this game is hardly touched, and it's being treated as a more sensitive topic than the racism against the Irish and the Africans, which again I have to call them Africans because we're not in America anymore. They seceded from the Union, so like I can't call them African Americans. Plus, I don't know how the citizenship, if it works at all in Colombia, works. So I can't say they're African Colombians even, because they might not be. So I'm trying to be as... It's kind of weird the projector is just hovering up in the air to project an image. Couldn't you project it from behind? Seems like, again, somebody spent some production value inventing that idea. Now we're up to another lockpick. And this is about as good as we need to go. The one issue we have right now is the salts, but everything else seems like it's working fine. And we're a little low on money. And we're kind of high on lockpicks, which makes me afraid I missed one, but whatever. Doesn't matter. Finding one safe somewhere would just get me a couple $100. Doesn't seem like it's gonna really swing anything. Perhaps things are more expensive when you play on hard mode. I could see that maybe on hard mode you also have to buy more health and buy more bullets, and maybe that changes things too, but playing on normal, everything is just far too easy. And I really don't consider myself this expert at first-person shooting, particularly this style first-person shooting where you have 2 different weapons and 4 different magical spells that the Shock series of System Shock and BioShock basically created. I don't see myself as that good at it. Anyways, that's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.